Double life. I used to believe I had the perfect relationship. For 2 years, my boyfriend and I were inseparable. He was attentive, caring, and always made me feel like I was the most important person in his life. We talked about our future together, about moving in, even about starting a family someday. To everyone around us, we looked like the ideal couple. But looking back now, there were small cracks I chose to ignore. He was often busy with work, always rushing to meetings or staying late at the office. His phone was practically glued to his hand, and he never left it unattended for more than a few minutes. If I ever asked to use it, he would brush it off with a joke or quickly change the subject. At the time, I told myself it didn't matter. I trusted him. I wanted to believe he had nothing to hide. Still, there was a nagging feeling in the back of my mind. Sometimes, his excuses didn't quite add up. Business trips that appeared out of nowhere, late-night messages he claimed were just from colleagues, and a distance in his eyes that I couldn't explain. I convinced myself I was just being paranoid. After all, why would someone who treated me so well ever betray me? What I didn't know then was that my entire world was about to unravel with a single phone call. One night, everything changed. He had just stepped into the shower when his phone buzzed on the nightstand. Normally, I never touched it. I respected his privacy, or maybe I was too afraid of what I might find. But something inside me told me to look this time. The screen lit up with an incoming call from an unknown number. My heart was pounding as I hesitated. Against my better judgment, I answered. "Daddy?" I froze. The voice was soft, high-pitched, a little girl. For a moment, I couldn't even breathe. "Daddy, when are you coming home? Mommy said you'd read me a story tonight." I didn't know what to say. My throat went dry, and all I could hear was the sound of water running in the bathroom. Finally, I whispered, "Who is this?" The girl paused. "It's me, your daughter." Before I could respond, I heard a woman's voice in the background. "Sweetie, hang up, Daddy's busy." Then the line went dead. I sat there, clutching the phone, my whole body shaking. Daughter? He had a daughter? And a woman in the background who called herself Mommy. By the time he stepped out of the shower, I had already placed the phone back where it was, pretending nothing had happened. He smiled at me, kissed my forehead, and asked if I wanted to watch a movie. I nodded, but my stomach was in knots. Every word he said that night felt like a lie. I barely slept. The little girl's voice echoed in my head again and again. "Daddy, when are you coming home?" The next morning, I tried to convince myself it was a mistake. Maybe the call was meant for someone else. Maybe it was a prank. But deep down, I knew. There was another life, another family, and somehow, I was about to uncover it. The morning after that phone call, I couldn't look at him the same way. Every smile, every casual word felt rehearsed, like he was playing a role. I knew I had to find out the truth, but I also knew I couldn't just accuse him without proof. So, while he was in the shower again, I opened his laptop. He never let me touch it before, but this time it wasn't locked. My hands were shaking as I clicked through his browser history. That's when I saw it. Repeated searches for directions to a small town 2 hours away. The same address appeared over and over again. My heart dropped. Why would he go there so often? I wrote down the address and kept digging. Phone records, credit card transactions, everything pointed to the same location. He wasn't on business trips. He wasn't working late. He was going there. I confided in my best friend, Emily. When I told her about the little girl's voice on the phone, her face went pale. "You can't ignore this," she said firmly. "You need to go there. See it for yourself." At first, I resisted. The idea of spying on someone I loved felt wrong. But the more I thought about it, the clearer it became. If I didn't go, I would never know the truth. That weekend, I told him I was visiting my aunt. Instead, I got in my car and drove straight to that address. I didn't know it yet, but what I was about to see would change my life forever. The drive to that town felt endless. My hands were gripping the steering wheel so tightly that my knuckles turned white. Every mile I covered, my chest grew tighter. I kept telling myself maybe I was wrong, maybe there would be a logical explanation. But deep down, I already knew. When I finally pulled onto the quiet suburban street, my stomach twisted into knots. I slowed down, double-checking the address scribbled on the scrap of paper. And then I saw it. A modest 2-story house with a white fence and toys scattered across the front yard. I parked a few houses away, heart pounding in my ears. Just as I was trying to steady my breathing, the front door opened. A little girl ran outside, her dark curls bouncing as she laughed, chasing a ball across the lawn. My breath caught in my throat. I didn't need anyone to tell me. This was the same voice I had heard on the phone. Moments later, a woman stepped out carrying grocery bags. She called out to the girl in a warm, familiar tone. The child ran up to her, hugging her leg. The woman looked tired, but there was something in her expression, comfort, routine, a sense of home. I sat frozen, watching from behind the wheel, my entire body trembling. Who was she? His sister? A friend? Or his wife? I pulled out my phone and started recording, zooming in on the house, the woman, the child. My hands were shaking so badly that the footage came out blurry, but I didn't care. I needed proof. Proof that I wasn't crazy. Just then, the little girl shouted, "Mommy, when is Daddy coming home?" The woman smiled softly and said, "Soon, sweetie. He'll be home soon." It felt like the air had been knocked out of me. Daddy, Mommy, home. There was no denying it anymore. I wanted to scream, to run up to the door and demand answers. But I couldn't move. Tears blurred my vision, my body frozen in place. After what felt like hours, I finally forced myself to drive away. My mind was spinning, my heart breaking with every beat. But as much as it hurt, I knew what I had to do. I had to face her. I had to face them. I couldn't wait any longer. The next day, I found myself standing at her doorstep, rehearsing what I would say, trying to calm my shaking hands. I took a deep breath and knocked. The door opened, and there she was, a woman in her 30s, looking surprised but composed. She studied me quietly for a moment. "Yes?" she asked, her voice cautious. I need to talk to you," I said, trying to steady my voice. "About your husband." Her eyes narrowed slightly. "My husband? And you are?" I swallowed hard. "I'm the other woman." For a second, there was silence. Then she stepped aside. "Come in," she said calmly. "We need to talk." Inside, the house was warm and lived in. Toys scattered across the floor, family photos on the walls. The little girl peeked from around the corner, shy and curious. I tried to speak, but the words got caught in my throat. She broke the silence first. "I guess you've figured out the truth," she said softly. "He's been living a double life for years." I felt my chest tighten. Why? Why would he do this? I loved him. I trusted him. She shook her head. "I don't know why. I loved him too, or at least I thought I did. I've been trying to protect our daughter from the chaos he brings." I reached for my phone, showing her the screenshots, the phone call recording, everything I had collected. She nodded, not looking surprised, only weary. "It's all true," she said. "I know about you. And I know he has hurt both of us." We sat in silence for a long moment. The little girl played quietly, unaware of the storm swirling around her. I felt a strange mix of anger, heartbreak, and pity. "I can't believe he did this to both of us," I whispered. "She made his life look perfect for him," the woman replied, "but we both know the truth now." We talked for hours, sharing stories, piecing together the lies, the trips, the secrets. The more we spoke, the more I realized, this wasn't about us fighting each other. This was about holding him accountable. When I finally left, I didn't feel victorious. I didn't feel closure, but I felt clarity. I knew what I had to do next. I couldn't stay with a man who lived two lives, who shattered trust so easily. And I knew one thing for sure, he was going to lose both of us. I couldn't wait any longer. After speaking with her, I knew it was time to confront him directly. I called him, trying to keep my voice steady. "We need to talk," I said. He laughed nervously on the other end. "Is everything okay?" "Not really," I replied. "I know everything. The calls, the trips, the lies. I know about her, and the child." There was a pause. Then a faint chuckle. "You don't understand." "No, I do," I interrupted, my voice firm. "You've been living a double life. And I've had enough." I hung up and waited. Within half an hour, he showed up at my apartment, feigning calm, pretending like nothing had happened. "Hey, babe, what's wrong?" he asked, trying to sound casual. I looked at him, and something inside me broke. Don't even try it. I know everything. The other woman, the daughter, your lies." His face went pale. It's not what you think," he stammered. I shook my head. "No, I've seen the house. I've spoken to her. I know all the excuses, all the stories. Don't lie to me." He ran a hand through his hair, panic in his eyes. "I didn't mean for it to happen like this." Meaning you've been living two lives? Meaning you thought you could fool both of us?" I snapped. He fell silent. For the first time, I saw him without his mask, without the charm he used to manipulate us. He was just himself, caught, exposed, powerless. I felt a strange mix of anger and pity. "You've hurt both of us," I said softly, but firmly. "And now it's over." I won't be part of your lies. He tried to reach for my hand. I pulled back. Stay away. Both of us deserve better than you. You've lost us. He opened his mouth to say something else, but I didn't let him. I walked away, feeling a weight lift from my shoulders. For the first time in months, I could breathe. I knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy. Trust once broken isn't easily repaired. But I also knew I had taken back control of my life. And as I closed the door behind me, one thought rang clear: he no longer had power over me. He had lost both of us, and finally, I was free. After he left, silence filled the apartment. The weight of everything, betrayal, lies, heartbreak, settled heavily on my chest. But for the first time, it wasn't suffocating. It was freeing. I sat down and let myself remember the girl's voice on the phone, the little glimpse of her life, and the warmth I had seen in her home. I realized that what he had tried to take from both of us, our peace, our trust, was gone forever. But we had reclaimed ourselves. I took a deep breath and thought about the future. I could rebuild, stronger than before. Trust, once broken, may never be the same, but self-respect and clarity are priceless. I had learned to listen to my instincts, to pay attention to the signs I had ignored for too long. Sometimes, love isn't enough to protect you from deception. Sometimes, the hardest choice is the right one. Walking away isn't weakness, it's courage. I knew I would eventually meet someone who deserved my trust, who would never force me to doubt him. But for now, I had myself, my freedom, and a clear mind. And as I looked out the window, watching the city lights flicker in the distance, I smiled softly. Life was messy, people were unpredictable, but I had survived. I had seen the truth, faced it, and walked away. For the first time in a long time, I felt whole.